Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your October 2021 general readings. We're looking at the first half of October from the 1st through the 15th, and this reading is for the earth sign of our beloved bulls, Taurus. Welcome, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for taking the time to watch this and any of the videos on my YouTube channel, and for all of your likes and shares and subscribing and donations, feedback, comments, reaching out for personal readings. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. So this is for Taurus for the first 2 weeks of October 2021. That's if your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign is in Taurus. It's also relevant if you're cross-watching for a Taurian. It's a general reading, so of course it's going to resonate a little differently for everyone. If you know all of your signs, watch them for any additional insight and perspective they may provide. And if you find that something resonates with you enough that you'd like to reach out for a personal reading, take a deeper look at something for yourself or for a gift for someone else, you can click on the description link below, that little arrow which will show you contact details, my email address, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. Feel free to email me directly. I'd be delighted to hear from you, and I can usually respond the same day with more information. I do offer a wide variety of different types of readings, and I do readings full time, so I'm pretty diligent about timely scheduling, so message me if you'd like. Okay, Taurus, let's see what the first 2 weeks of October 2021 look like for you. I'm using the Tarot of Dreams and clarifying with the Gilded Tarot. Okay, Taurus, we begin with the card I really don't like, the Nine of Swords: stress, anxiety, sleepless nights, fear of an unknown future. This is a card of like obsessive negative worrying. What do I do if this happens? What do I do if this doesn't happen? And it's thinking about something far too much, obsessively, and almost always the worst possible outcome. Thinking about it with the most, most negative outcome. With the moon, lack of clarity, also hidden fears. Things are fuzzy, not everything is known. And because of that, you're trying to foresee what's happening, but with negative consequences. We have the Five of Cups, a card of loss, a card of regret. Not all is lost. There's still 2 cups that are upright and full, but 3 are tipped over and spilled out. Grief, regret, loss. With the Priestess, also known as the High Priestess in other decks. This is a card of intuition, of knowing, of trusting that what you feel is the right thing. It's kind of our connection to God, spirit, angels, and guides. Some people call it gut instinct. Some people call it higher self, intuition. It feels like some of you might have an intuitive knowing that there's going to be a loss here, but also that it might be for the best. Next, we have Temperance, which is staying grounded, staying focused, staying in the middle, not allowing your emotions or other people, places, and situations to pull you out of that grounded space. It's a card that represents holding opposite extremes in unison, like merging in the middle. It's neither too much of one thing nor too much of the other. It's staying grounded in the midst, or perhaps through or at the end of a situation which looks very challenging. Kind of like standing in what the truth is. With the Ten of Cups, happy home, marriage, childbirth, family. From the bottom of the deck, the overall energy is the Hanging Man, watching, waiting, something playing out, which makes sense looking at the Nine of Swords and the moon. But the Hanging Man should also be often is about getting information while you're watching something playing out. It's not being the aggressor, the pursuer. It's not taking action. I'm going to pull one more. The Seven of Wands, defending, guarding, protecting that which you hold dear, or that which you feel you have a lot invested in. It could be for some of you, you're waiting to see how a situation plays out. Maybe you're waiting on a decision, or you're just waiting to see how something plays out. The Hanging Man implies a sense of waiting, but the Seven of Wands, some of you might feel very torn. You might feel very torn between waiting to see how something plays out and wanting to kind of run in there and defend something or protect something. Waiting to see what happens with something, but really wanting to hold on to something at the same time. It feels kind of intense and emotional, so it's likely about a relationship, whether it's your personal relationship or perhaps somebody close to you. Let's clarify the Hanging Man, Seven of Wands. Could be a work situation too. Could be any situation, really. The Emperor. An older person, a father or a father figure, could be an Aries. Aries is attached to the sign of the Emperor. The Empress. The Emperor's natural mate. So there's a couple involved here. It might be parents. It might be you and a partner. It might be parents. It might be a couple that you're close to. The High Priestess. So we have the Priestess twice here. It's a card of intuition and knowing. This might be a situation of knowing or feeling like you have some kind of intuitive knowing about how something is going to work out. Even if something ends or, it might be for the best. Clarify the Nine of Swords. But there's a feeling of not being able to do much about it, or feeling like it's not the right, to try and run in there and do something is not the best thing right now. The Magician is clarifying the Nine of Swords. Wondering if there's something you can do, wondering if there's something you should do. I mean, the Magician is the manifester, right? This person has worked long and hard to get to a place where he has control of all the elements, and because of that, he can use his talents and his experience and his resources and combine them with hard work in order to manifest something in reality. But this is something that you're very stressed out about. Can you do something? Should you do something? You don't know. Moon is a lot, a lack of clarity here. Clarify the Moon. The Five of Cups again with the Lovers. So this is about a relationship, right? Because the Lovers represents a relationship that's at a crossroads and a decision needs to be made. Now, the decision might be about the relationship or marriage itself. The decision might be in another area of life, but it's going to have a significant impact on the relationship. It looks like something is lost here, or that's what you're worried about. And again, we have a couple here, the Emperor and the Empress, which is typically a long-term relationship or marriage. Now, it might be you and your partner personally. It might be parents, or it might be a couple that's close to you somehow. But there's this sense of not knowing, of waiting and not knowing how it's going to work out, what the decision is going to be. Fearing that the decision is going to be that this relationship breaks up. You might be waiting on them to make a decision. They might be waiting on you to make a decision. It might be a mutual sort of thing. Again, whether it's your relationship or someone close to you. Clarify the Five of Cups. And there's this sense of waiting and watching and feeling like you know how it's going to turn out, and thinking even if it, maybe it'll be for the best, but still watching and waiting, and maybe feeling a bit helpless. The Ten of Swords, often called the Betrayal card, surrendering to a painful ending. The Page of Swords, information, news. He's sometimes the spy of the tarot. The Ace of Swords, information revealed, something coming to light. Yeah, something coming to light that causes a sense of pain, of perhaps betrayal. I mean, it might be fidelity, infidelity, cheating. Maybe somebody cheated on somebody and the marriage is on the rocks because of that, or the long-term relationship is on the rocks. Ten of Swords is about surrendering to a painful... I mean, this is like... Whether it's your relationship or somebody close to you, it feels like whatever is coming to light, there's this sense of sadness and grief and loss about it. But there's also this sense of knowing, and maybe you knew about this as well, or suspected it. There's a sense of knowing, this needs to come out for a reason, or this is happening for a reason. Clarify the priestess. It's like feeling the grief and sadness and loss, but also the sense that you knew, and that this is pretty much, that this is just, it's surrendering to a painful ending, to information, to the truth of a situation. Judgment. A crossroads decision again. Clarify temperance. The Two of Cups, a choice. There's like choices all over this. The Six of Cups, historical connections, long-term relationships, death, Six of Swords. Making a decision, possibly some of you making a decision or being in the process of making a decision that something needs to end, because that's the only way you're going to regain balance and have some sense of healing here. You, or again, it might be someone close to you or parents. Clarify the Ten of Cups. Strength. Facing fears, doubts, insecurities, even looking at what responsibility that you had in this situation, if it's your relationship. The Devil, toxic negative cycles, and the Wheel of Fortune, divine timing and orchestration. This is like seeing something being brought to light that's very difficult to accept, but having a sense of knowing about it anyway, of intuition about it anyway, and knowing that Spirit allowed this to happen, allowed this to be brought to light, so that the fundamental defects in this situation or relationship and the fundamental negative cyclical nature of it, around and around and around, needed to be brought to light so that it could be seen, and it can either be dealt with, that it can be dealt with in one way or the other. I mean, this is a general reading, so how it's dealt with, do you break up, is going to be different. But it feels like fundamentally whatever was brought to light that looks painful, accepting the reality of it takes a lot of strength and courage to take a look at the truly negative, endless kind of cycle of it, so that it can be addressed, regardless of how you choose to address it. It's challenging, I think we've all been through something similar at least once in our lives, of having to kind of face the truth of something, surrendering to a painful ending, seeing that and having the courage to kind of look at it and go, yeah, perhaps this does need to end. It hurts. It's very painful. But perhaps that's what needs to end, so that I can have so that there can be some kind of balance and harmony and healing in this situation. Let's end with pulling some advice, guidance, or any final messages for Taurus for the first 2 weeks of October. Temperance again, balance being restored, or regaining balance, because it doesn't look like there's been balance here. Balance is the opposite of the Devil, which is imbalance, too much obsessive energy. It's a negative cycle. The Three of Swords, pain, heartbreak, emotional pain, sometimes breakups, separations. The Five of Swords, a hard-won victory. It shows somebody who's finished a battle and he's won, and he's also removed his enemy's weapons, which means he's removed their ability to hurt himself, to hurt him with it. But, it's technically a card of victory, but at the time it doesn't feel like victory. It's like it's a battle. You're hurt, you're wounded, you're tired. Yeah, they can't hurt you anymore, but all you really want to do is go home and start the healing process, It feels like, free will, free agency, right? Fair enough, as I always say. But it feels here like Spirit is saying, look, Either an ending or some kind of separation time or something is what's needed here in order to bring balance and healing into a situation, particularly to a family, home, family life situation as well. Something needed to be revealed so that it can be dealt with, either dealt with and healed or dealt with and cut out, one way or the other. It's a challenging reading. I'm not going to say I hope you enjoyed this reading, Taurus, because it's not one of those, sunshine and leprechauns with pot of gold kind of, rainbow readings. But I hope at least for those of you it resonated with, that it was helpful and maybe validated some things you were already thinking. Again, if this reading resonated with you and you'd like to take a deeper look at something, reach out for a personal reading. Click on the description link below for my email address, which you'll see there, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. Feel free to email me directly. I'd be delighted to hear from you and even more delighted to work with you. I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the October mid-month readings. Until then, stay safe and well, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.